I have one in my own personal life and our family, and I have one in my business, and I think that we maybe haven't seen the worst yet. And I would hate to see that rainy day fund depleted when we may still need it. I have had the opportunity the last 3 years to attend the fall conference at the Utah League of Cities and Towns. This is a place where city leaders from across the state gather to get together in workshops and to learn how to become better leaders. And tax issues have been a big part of the discussions all of the last 3 years as we've met. Commercial growth can be one answer to those taxes. It's just one of several different facets that have to come together. But I think, as I've already mentioned, that we will see some commercial growth. We're seeing it now. We're going to see more of it, and that will relieve some of that tax burden. I would like to address just for a minute the issue of our city maybe not being terribly business friendly. Although I think the more that we talk about it, the more we believe it. I'm not sure that's really the case. I read an article in a paper about the design standards that the city recently passed for commercial businesses. The article indicated that the design standards are such that they will tell you exactly which color brick you use. That can't be farther from the truth. It does not tell you which color brick you use. The design standards are very general, they're very minimal, and their purpose is to help promote commercial buildings that will be attractive, that will be desirous to attend, to shop in. And I think as businesses see attractive, quality buildings, they want to be part of that. The design standards purposes are to protect us from having a pink building built next to hundreds of $1,000s building that perhaps one of us just decides to put up, and then our property value goes down. So the design standards are there to promote business. I think that the city, and they've already started this actually, should be actively involved and enthusiastically partnered with the business people in North Ogden to promote shopping in North Ogden. We do far too often pass our own North Ogden businesses in order to shop somewhere else, and I'm happy to say that I purchased my signs and brochures in North Ogden.
Thank you, Brian Bott. Let's go now to Nick McIntosh.
All right. I think most candidates kind of hit on it. The best way to lower our tax burden on the citizens is through business growth. We're kind of lucky out here. We got Washington, which is perfect for businesses, and 2700 North, just west of Washington, is ideal. Because if we can get some quality businesses in there that will benefit our city, it also limits the traffic and other issues that come along with that. Because we could pull from other cities that come up 2700 North, go to business, turn around, go home, without impacting our streets and our congestion. We need to look at quality businesses that would benefit the city. I've talked to numerous people that would love to have a nice steak restaurant, Olive Garden, something like that out here, to where we don't have to go to Riverdale to go eat or travel clear around. It'll benefit us with tax base and eliminate our travel. So we just have to be cautious with it. I argue with my wife over this issue. She works out in Riverdale. That city has a boatload of money, but I wouldn't want to live out there because you can't get from point A to point B because you got 5,000 businesses out there. So we got to balance that. We got to get the businesses out here that will benefit our city without negatively impacting our city. Example I like to use, and I'm not demeaning either store, but kind of a Walmart versus Lowe's. Walmart's great, they bring in a lot of money, but when Harrisville brought in that Walmart, they hired a police officer, additional police officer, basically to handle the calls at that Walmart. And again, I'm not saying anything about Walmart, but you have the shoplifting, the frauds, issues like that. You get a business like Lowe's, you know, people aren't going to throw a sheet of plywood in their back pocket and try to sneak out the door. So they get a good tax base off that with low impact to this city. So that's what we need to look at too when we bring businesses out here, is the best benefit with the lowest impact for the cities. And I'm done. I've got to keep my record going, not going 3 minutes yet.
Thank you, Nick. Let's go now to the mayor's race. Reed Mackley, tell us about rapid growth in North Ogden, focusing on the tax base.
Well, I think everybody knows that prosperity is desirable. When we're prosperous, we have nicer buildings. If we're not, you can almost go to the areas in the city and see where the people were prosperous at the time those buildings were being constructed. People will ordinarily build the nicest home they can afford. And a business person will ordinarily build the nicest business he can afford. It isn't like everybody's out there trying to make a mess job. I really believe that if people are free, for one thing, the concentration of businesses in one area, like Riverdale, becomes very disagreeable to everyone. If the community allows growth to spread out, you don't get those congested situations. I believe that much of our problems are caused by city planning and city council rules and regulations. I believe that you can look at any country where the people are free, they're prosperous, things are much nicer, things are alive. Talk to anyone who went to West Germany, East Germany, North and South Korea, comparative, Cuba. I just look in our own communities where we're free, we're prosperous, things become more beautiful. I have faith that most people want to do the best they can. And they can make better decisions than a city councilman or a planning commission sitting on the seat and not ever having walked over the ground and not having to be responsible for the cost of the construction. I believe freedom blesses us and we turn up with better communities, less problems when we're free. Tax-wise, if we reduce government, we don't need so much taxes. If we've got a policeman on every corner, an inspector on every job, working on every detail, our cost for taxes goes up. It's just understandable that a socialistic big government always requires more and is less productive. I believe that getting realistic, in order to produce a best situation for development and taxes, freedom is the answer. I believe in freedom. It works.
Thank you, Reed Mackley. Let's go now to Richard Harris.
Well, I couldn't disagree with more with Mr. Mackley on some of those statements that he's made. He's giving examples that are so far out of reality that it's hard to even think about. We don't have big government here in North Ogden. We've done a good job of planning and developing our community. I believe very strongly that we need a vision, we need excellent planning, and then we need orderly development when you get a large group of people together like we have. I think that that's the sort of thing that guarantees that not only will we have quality development, but it will last. It will be something that we can pass on, something that we'll have, we'll leave a legacy for. And so, sure, I don't want a government that's repressive or any of those kind of things, but you do have to have some controls, you do have to have some standards, you have to have a way to develop so that things happen in an ordered and a planned and a visionary way. North Ogden's been doing that. The people that have served in North Ogden have been doing that. You know, we're all members of the community, the elected officials in the past and now. We're all members of the community. We all pay the same taxes that you do. And so I feel like we've done an excellent job. It's been talked about some of the good things that are happening in North Ogden.